要如何成为大家都喜欢的人呢？其实很简单，只要注意几个说好话的重点就没问题咯。Let's find out just what they are. Hello, 欢迎来到 Executive Plus 主管与沟通力的 Podcast. I'm Sherry, an educator, certified coach, and style enthusiast. 我相信专业有效的沟通是语言跟逻辑的完美结合。
And I'm Nick, a startup consultant, corporate trainer, and late-night gaming junkie. I believe great communication requires the right mindset and solid frameworks.
我们希望带给大家职场英语的技能、跨文化沟通技巧与其他能帮助您成为出色领导者的工具。
Join us each week as we share our experience, research, and methodologies to take your communication and language skills from good to great. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Executive Plus podcast. Sometimes we just come across little gems that are worth sharing and exploring a little bit. And recently, Sherry came across a really interesting Instagram channel, Jefferson Fisher, who's a personal injury lawyer and talks about how to stay calm in an argument, how to maintain trust when you're in some kind of negotiation. And there was a great post where he talks about how to get people to like you, which is really interesting from the standpoint of a personal injury lawyer in the US is one of the most hated type of lawyers because we consider them leeches that just follow and try and find out who wants to sue who, or we call them ambulance chasers because every time they see an ambulance, they just follow it to find out what kind of lawsuit can be created.
Is it one of those let's say if I go to McDonald's 然后我觉得那薯条可能太凉了 I can sue McDonald's getting this lawyer to sue them?
Yeah, or personal injury lawyers would just be someone who's just something is not just an inconvenience, maybe you get hurt, but probably you got hurt. It's your own fault. So in the US, we have an issue where if someone gets hurt on your property, even if it's let's say a thief is trying to break into your house, but something about your property is wrong and they hurt themselves, they can sue you because you should have maintained your property. The kind of lawyer they would find is a personal injury lawyer. So it's really interesting to see this kind of person build such a big following and have such a positive spin on how you handle communication.
Yeah, 如果大家有时间也可以到他的 IG account 看一下，他的 message 都是蛮简短的。那今天我们就以他的其中一个 post 作为一个 reference， 也就是 How do you be more likable？ 那我们在之前有蛮多的 episode 我们也都讲到，比如说 How to be charismatic in a second language， or How to recommend things to others 等等的，其实这些话题都是有相关性的。那今天呢，我们想要等于说是重新的来讨论一下，还有提供一下我们的一些经验。Then how to be more likable, but basically in an effortless way.
The first one is actually a really, really simple piece of advice, which is just say what you like about them. So just tell people what you like.
Exactly, You know what I like about you is that you're so passionate about your job and you are such a good speaker on stage.
I actually really like to use this phrase in a little bit of a different way, which is rather than be upfront, which is what he is saying. And sometimes people just like affirmations or they just like to be told something you like about them. The other way that I personally like to use this is if I agree with someone about something, rather than be oh, I really agree about that thing. Perhaps that person has an opinion or they did a piece of work. I really think this is how we should approach this client meeting. I think we should do ABC. Maybe I really agree with that. I may you know something I really like about you? That's exactly what I was thinking. So what you're showing is that sort of connection. Or, for example, if you're just joking with coworkers in a meeting and they'll just be oh yeah, I could have gone out last night, but the truth is I just really wanted some mint chocolate chip ice cream in a movie. Then I'll always jokingly be you know what I like about you? You know exactly how to have a good time.
Yeah, 所以我觉得这个部分其实你可以去做以后 很多的 variation， 比如说你可以 comment 这个人的个性，或者是他的一些 taste， 他的 style， 甚至到他说了什么，还有他的 capability。 我觉得这个部分依照你对这个人的认知或了解多少， you can definitely do a lot of variation on that.
Now, this is something that we talked about in charisma or some of our other episodes is, but when you're complimenting the person, remember, stay away from complimenting their body directly, or stay away from commenting something they don't have control over. In fact, what most people like comments are things that it takes effort, or that's just really, they feel that's part of who they are and they've made effort to do that, whether it's like they're trying to dress better or say that they're trying to improve a certain skill. When you compliment these things because they had effort into it, it feels even better that someone notices.
Now, the second thing he pointed out is that you could actually tell people you're thinking about them. 那这个部分我觉得我要稍微提一下，因为我觉得用中文来讲说，我昨天在想你 it sounds a bit different. Yeah, so I think culturally, 如果你是讲中文或者是在亚洲的文化的话 maybe it doesn't work 100%， 或者你要跟这个人真的很熟，但是在美国的文化来讲 Hey, I was just thinking about you the other day, or Hey, I watched a movie and you know the actor reminded me of you. 这个部分我是觉得没有问题的。
Right. In English, we actually use this very often, where the phrase Sherry just used, I was doing something and it reminded me of you. Or another phrase we would use is like, hey, we're just talking about you. And then give them a context where maybe they're known for something, or maybe there's an interest they really share. So, for example, like the other day, I came across this article talking about Taipei 101 opening a brand new, like, mega fancy buffet. And the first thing I thought of is a good friend of mine loves buffets. So, like, he goes to all the buffets. That's his thing to do. So the first thing I did is I sent him a message and said, like, hey, if you ever need something fancy, here's a new buffet for you. So it's those kind of things where you just, like, notice something or pick something up and then you send it to someone like, hey, you know, I was thinking about you, or I read this thing and I thought of you, that kind of thing.
Now, the third method, we actually talk about this quite a few times. 让人家觉得心情很好，也就是你可以很直接的问他 advice or get their opinion. Because when you value someone's opinion, they will be very, very, very happy.
Simply saying something like, oh, I read an article the other day and I'd like your opinion on it. A lot of people enjoy this, and for those of you joining in on our social styles, like especially if you identify someone as an expressive, just going in like, hey, I was thinking about this thing. What do you think? That's like a really strong moment of connection.
Right. And now if you're talking to a driver, 你也可以这样讲 I ran into an issue yesterday with my colleague. I need your advice on that.
Something where like a quick context or a quick problem and they can give you a solution. That's a great point of connection. So, you know, asking people their opinion. Now, that doesn't mean every day be like, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? But especially about these bigger things, or again, combining number 2 and number 3. Like, hey, I read this article. I thought it was really interesting. I want to get your take on it, right? These two things together can give someone a sense of, oh, they value me or they really like me.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed this quick episode. Again, for some really interesting quick tips on positive communication, we do recommend you check out Jefferson Fisher's Instagram. There's some great stuff there, and they only take about 20-30 seconds to watch. If you have any other ideas or there's something he talks about that you think's great, hit us up on our Instagram, Communication R&D, and we'd be happy to cover another topic. We'll talk to you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.
The Executive Plus podcast is a Presentality Group production, produced and hosted by Sherry Fang and Nick Howard. You can search us on Facebook, 主管英文 Executive Plus. You can also find us on Instagram, Communication R&D, and email us at sherry@epstyleplus.com.